Streep was also far from glamorous in her role in A Cry in the Dark. Based on a true story, she portrayed an Australian woman charged with murdering her baby.
We were held to the script. I mean, what she said was what she actually said. What she saw, we could only put on screen what she actually saw behind the bush, in between the tent and the bush, whether that was a dog, what it was carrying. While we were shooting, it could have all been subject for litigation, and so I felt like I had to get it exact. I never copied anybody before. This, I tried to copy her.
A Cry in the Dark co-starred Sam Neill. While filming in Australia, the case was still fresh in the public's mind. Streep and Neill became the focus of considerable media attention.
We were working under a lot of scrutiny while we were making the film. You know, the press was very interested in me. I wasn't prepared for it, actually. I mean, I've had a certain amount of media attention in my life, but, you know, they were camped outside my house every night and up on shooting big lights at the windows, and it was wild.
In the film, they're under tremendous media pressure. We were under media pressure too, not to the same extent, but life wasn't too comfortable.
Sam Neill had co-starred with Meryl on Plenty and enjoyed working with her again.
She's an extraordinary person to work with. And I enjoy her. She makes me laugh.
I get so much inspiration from other actors all the time, and I watch them hard.
Streep's memorable line in A Cry in the Dark, "A dingo took my baby," became the film's catchphrase. After working in Australia, Streep decided to stay closer to home for her children's sake. And following so many dramas, she wanted to make a comedy. Welcome back to Famous. Having reached 40 years old, Meryl Streep moved away from dramatic roles and appeared in the comedy She-Devil. She then did her own singing for another comedy, Postcards from the Edge, written by Carrie Fisher. Meryl portrayed an actress who's forced to live with her overbearing mother.
It was refreshing just for me to get a script that I believed in and thought was funny and thought was worth doing, but was also close to me.
Streep identified with her character.
My parents used to, they didn't make me get up in front of people. They didn't push me in a way. But they, you know, they made me get up in front of people and sing. And it traumatized me, and I was very fearful. I don't know why. But, so when I did that scene, I didn't have to dig very deep for the emotional information to fill it out, you know. I just went back to being 12.
Shirley MacLaine played Meryl's mother in Postcards from the Edge.
She sort of came to the whole process as the character, I think. It's hard to know because she's like a sponge, and she soaks up the character, becomes it, and you're never really sure who Meryl is.
Streep earned another Academy Award nomination for Postcards from the Edge. A year later, she and her husband had another baby girl. On screen, she played opposite Albert Brooks in the comedy Defending Your Life. In another comic role, Streep appeared in Death Becomes Her, which co-starred Bruce Willis and Goldie Hawn. It was about two rivals who take an immortality potion. She played the aging actress and Goldie Hawn the writer. At first, Meryl thought she would be playing Goldie's part.
I was sure that they wanted me to play Helen Sharp, the, you know, Ivy League book editor that was from the Upper East Side, who looked down on her friend who's an aging song and dance girl who's obviously Goldie. So I wasn't confused. I said, yes, I'll do it. And then they said, no, they want you to play Madeline. And then I had to read it again.
It was also unusual for Streep and Hawn to work with special effects.
Meryl had, you know, endless things to do, acting backwards and whatever. And actually, I was sort of upside down at one point and hanging by my heels and standing on my head and being twirled and having to act, and that wasn't so easy. I had to act a scene with Bruce Willis backwards with a blue bag over my head. And then they erased my head because there's a certain color blue that can be invisible. And then I went back, and 3 weeks later, when they had edited the scene together, I acted the scene again, matching my face to the actions of my body, which I watched on a little video screen, but I couldn't let them know that I was looking at myself.
Death Becomes Her won a visual effects Oscar. In her next role, Streep returned to working in drama. She travelled to Denmark and Portugal for The House of the Spirits. Glenn Close co-starred.